friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. And today I'm going to show you how you can make your own beef breakfast sausage. And yes, I said beef. There's so many things that we normally think you have to use pork in, where you can substitute with a good grass-fed beef or deer meat or elk meat instead. Today it's going to be beef because that's what I thawed out. And I'll show you. I have this little chunk here because we only need a little bit. I usually make about 3 patties, and 2 for Mr. Rain and 1 for me. And it's super simple, and it does taste like a good breakfast sausage. It's just a matter of getting the right herbs and spices. But also you can still feel free to add to it whatever you want. And it's just as easy as making regular old hamburger patties, really. So what I always like to add to any kind of meat patty that I make is 1 egg. So I'm choosing one of the smaller eggs I have for my chickens. I just think that kind of helps hold everything together. And then the real key ingredients that you need to start with are going to be your onion, granulated garlic, some salt, some sage, thyme, and black pepper. And then what you choose to add to it after that is entirely up to you, depending on your taste preference. So again, as always, I'm just going to show you the amount I'm using for this little small amount of meat. You'll want to tailor it to suit your needs. So I'm going to start with about a ½ teaspoon of black pepper, that much again of salt. In fact, we'll go like a whole teaspoon at least on the garlic and the onion. Now, if I was making, you know, a bigger batch, I'd be putting obviously in a lot more. And then we'll do another teaspoon of the granulated onion. The thyme, I would say about a ½ teaspoon of that. I don't know, maybe a little bit more. And then, same thing again, at least a ½ teaspoon of the sage, probably a little bit more. I really like sage. Okay, now really, that's all you need for your basic ingredients to get a nice sausage flavor. But I'm also going to add some red pepper. I'll have 2 kinds of pepper in there. And I'm going to put in a little bit of turmeric because I'm trying to get in the habit of using turmeric in more of my cooking, even though I don't care for the color it turns everything. So we'll put in at least a little bit. And then another thing you may want to consider, and I'm going to put a little bit of this in because I try to add my mixed greens to everything. Mixed greens. So you can find the video on basically what's in my mixed greens right up here. These are all garden grown greens. And then really the best way to mix this up is with your bare hands. And so I'm just going to dig my hands in there. We always have our burger packaged up in 1-pound packages, and that's more than enough for me and Mr. Rain. So what I did actually was I took this little chunk, came off of a package that I thawed out for making dog cookies, an updated grain-free version of dog cookies. And so I'll be doing a video of that down the road. Today I'm trying it out first and to see how it turns out, and I'm pretty sure the dogs are going to like them. Okay, so then from this point, that's really all you need. I can usually tell by the smell, do I have all the right spices? So you might want to just learn to use your olfactory skills to smell. Think about what sausage smells like and tastes like. Obviously, you probably don't want to eat this raw, but you can usually tell by the smell if it's right. And I say it needs a little more garlic and some more thyme and sage. So let's put in about another ½ teaspoon. That's just us because we like lots of spice, lots of flavor. And then, of course, more garlic. I have yet to meet a person that has said that there's too much garlic in something. I didn't know that. Is there such a thing? Okay, and then for the next step, I'm going to go ahead and grab a mat because I don't want to. It's a lot easier to clean off these mats than it is the counter. Just squish that in there real good. These are actually going to be for breakfast tomorrow. I'm just making them up now so they'll be all ready to go. This will probably end up making 4. I grabbed a little more meat out of there than I thought I did. These are, well, I'll make 3. These are a little bigger than the ones I made last time. But just press them out into a patty shape. Now, you can, I'm just going to carefully put these in a snap lock container and put it in the refrigerator for tonight. And then tomorrow I'm going to cook them up and I'll finish out that video so you can see how I cook them in the pan, on the wood stove, and what they look like when they're all done. So, some options you can do if you're making them a day ahead of time like I'm doing is you can put some wax paper layers in between so they don't stick together. I'm just going to stack them kind of at an angle. I'll show you here. So all I'm going to do to make this work, they'll still stick together a little bit, but if you lay them in there just right, it's pretty simple, pretty easy to get them apart. And I'll show you what this looks like. I don't stack them directly on top of each other. I kind of put them like that. And then I'm just going to, this actually isn't a snap lock. This one's a Pyrex. Okay, so here's the lid to the Pyrex container. And I will go ahead and link to both the Pyrex set and the snap lock sets. I use them both. I love them both equally. And I think they're just a really great thing to have and to help get you away from the plastic. Obviously the lids are plastic, but it's rare they're ever touching the food, and they're in the refrigerator so you don't have to worry about the toxins leaching. And these are all BPA free at least, so I at least know there's not the estrogen mimicker toxin in there. But anyway, so I'll be back in the morning, or in a few seconds for you, when I'm ready to cook these up. Alright, well, it's the next morning and I got Mr. Rain's breakfast cooking here. I got some garden potatoes all cut up and frying. I still got to let them brown quite a bit. And then here are the beef sausage patties cooking. They're getting a little nice and brown, but I still want to let them cook real good. And then I got another pan here heating up for the eggs from our own chickens. And then, of course, there's Mr. Rain's organic coffee right back there, staying hot. And then right over here on this side, for those who are new to my channel, this is the pot of water I always keep here for using to wash dishes and for bathing with and cleaning whatever we need to clean with and when we need some hot water. One of the reasons I came up with the beef sausage idea was as a bacon replacement. Though we do love the store-bought beef bacon, it can be kind of expensive, but we have lots of ground beef, grass-fed, ground elk meat and ground deer meat in the freezer, so I wanted to find a way that I could use those and make a more frugal breakfast where we don't have to depend on the store-bought beef bacon for that. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video and that you learned something new. Thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.